All right, here we go. Boot.dev. All right, we need to set up. Excuse me. Excuse me. Hey, what's up, Justin? How are you? Good morning. You're early today? You are early today. I didn't wake up till like 6:30 this morning, so I am just getting started, which makes you very, very early. But yeah, good to see you, man. Hope you're doing well. I'm on vacation this week, so I can stream whenever I want. Very cool, man. Yeah, sometimes it's real nice to get up before everybody else. Likewise, I hope everything went well yesterday. Yeah, everything's good, man. Yes, let's see, what did I do yesterday? Well, I guess I didn't stream yesterday, did I? But yeah, we just spent the day kicking around the house. I did a bunch of yard work on Sunday and Monday. So when Tuesday rolled around, I was like, I'm just gonna sleep in today. But it was good. Okay. Stick this guy over there. Gotta have balance. Yeah, you do. Yeah, you gotta find balance. And the thing is just like life's too short, right? And you probably should spend it doing what you want when you have the opportunity. Any good TV? Let's see. I just started watching the Westies on MGM Plus. I signed up for like a free trial subscription of that, and apparently the Westies came out this month or maybe into last month. It's got a what's his name? He's been in a bunch of stuff. He's also the insurance sponsor. Let's see, Westies. What's his name? J.K. Simmons. That's what I'm thinking of. Yeah, I'm a big fan of J.K. Simmons. So if he's in a show, I will at least give the show at least one watch. So I've been watching that. Obviously been keeping up with House of the Dragons. What else? I'm excited for Landman to start back up on Paramount Plus. That's one of my favorite shows. It's good, yeah. There's lots of good TV now that you say that. Lots of good TV. Yeah, House of the Dragon, yeah. I love Game of Thrones, man. I'm a Game of Thrones nerd. Yeah, TV is kind of back. Yeah, I'm the annoying Game of Thrones person that's like, well, I don't know. That wasn't really how it was in the book. which is probably the most exciting things about Game of Thrones is the fact that it's really not over. Like, we still have a whole nother book to look forward to at the very least. So yeah, lots of good things lie ahead. Yeah, they should have just kept taking it as far as they could have taken it without coming up with their own ending. Like, there was plenty enough material in the books to, I mean, there's plenty enough material in the books to go 10 seasons without reaching the conclusion. Obviously, that still wouldn't have helped them avoid having to come up with their own ending, but yeah. Good morning, Mark. I won't be on Twitch today. Good morning. No worries, dude. Appreciate you stopping by. Let's see, go build. What the hell did I just do? Oh, okay, never mind. I thought I deleted everything. Okay, now we need to submit our stuff. I don't think you're entirely wrong comparing the use of AI with recreational drug use. Good morning, Milty. Nice to see you. What are you doing now? I am doing just more boot.dev. I think I'm on level 82, so hopefully before the end of the summer, or at least maybe in the next week or two, I'll get closer to level 100. But yeah, just more boot.dev. We're doing a course right now called, what's it called? Learn HTTP servers, and we're using Go to do that. So that's what we're doing. Let's see, a new version of boot dev is available. Please run the following command to upgrade or go and let's see, boot dev upgrade. Obviously not the same thing, but using AI can be super addicting and stimulating. Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, I think people right now are not receptive to any criticism of AI in general, because whenever I do criticize it like that, I get a lot of people who push back very hard and very strong. But I'm just speaking from my own personal anecdotes and experiences with it myself. Granted, I'm perfectly willing to admit maybe I'm a lesser man, maybe I'm a weaker man, and I can't, either I have a skill issue or my brain is just wired in a particular way. But I definitely am of the belief that there is definitely a side effect to it on you as an individual. And I think if you're not aware of that and you're not taking measures to counteract that, I think you're eventually going to pay a price for it. Whether it be issues in your life, like, for example, maybe you're spending too much time stuck to a screen instead of taking care of other responsibilities or attending to other things in your life, or you're spending way too much of your own personal income on it to build dumb projects that no one ever uses and no one's ever going to care about, no one's ever going to see. You're just spending tokens for the sake of spending tokens so you can say, look what I did. Or probably the consequences that are most concerning for me as an individual is just you're just not as good of a engineer and you're not as smart of a human being as you want to be. Not as competent or capable. I was watching this presentation last night by Richard Hipp, the guy who created SQLite. It was very good. I think you all should go watch it. But as I was watching that, it was just another example of someone who obviously is very competent and very knowledgeable at what he does. And I don't think he got there by using AI. And I know some people are going to say, well, that's because he didn't have it. And that's a totally valid conjecture. But I think I'd rather stick to the proven path than the unproven path at this point in my life. So, super good talk. So that's where I'm at, man. You know, I'm definitely not saying anybody has to live their life a particular way. I'm just trying to share my thoughts and feelings and how I'm trying to navigate everything. If your CTO is coding, something is very wrong, or you're at a startup. Bro, may I ask, how do you balance the actual hobby development and work development without being burnt out? So Mark, I think the answer there is just enjoyment. I mean, that's kind of like what I've said before on the channel is, I mean, one of the reasons I don't feel the need to use AI in my own personal development is just because I'm optimizing for enjoyment. I'm optimizing for my own personal satisfaction, and I get a lot of satisfaction out of writing the code and thinking about the code myself, and I get a lot of satisfaction from learning and trying to get a little smarter and a little bit more capable. I should also say that probably my situation may be a little bit different than yours. My work, as far as like coding at work, I don't spend all 40 hours of my work with fingers on the keyboard. So maybe there's a little bit of a difference there between us in that sense. But it's really just enjoyment. And whenever I don't feel like coding, I don't code, right? So it's just enjoyment. I mean, the thing is, like, I've shared with you guys this before, but like, I'm a normal person. I'm a 33-year-old dad. I'm just trying to earn a living, save for retirement, and become financially independent. And so that's not going to happen overnight. So I'm largely just trying to find ways to spend the next, 19 years to pass the time in an enjoyable way and in a fun way. And so streaming and coding and programming is one of those ways. It's really not any more complicated than that. Good morning, Saya. Good to see you. There's a big difference between critiquing and just talking negatively for the sake of talking negatively. I'm such a big proponent of AI, and I enjoy hearing your outlook on it, nor can I really call. Well, I appreciate that. Melty. Yeah. I appreciate that a lot. And I'm not, and I hope that never comes off that way. I hope it never comes off that I'm trying to shake my finger at people and say, you shouldn't do X, Y, Z. That's... Everyone's entitled to live their life the way they best see fit. Okay, what are we building? We are building a fully fledged web server from scratch on your local machine. The test suite will make HTTP requests to your local server over localhost. Your server will run in one terminal while you submit your tests with the boot dev CLI in another terminal. Being a programmer means reading documentation and searching for examples. We're already telling you everything you need to know to build Chirpy, but we don't want to rob you of valuable practice reading the docs. Learning from examples. Be sure to read the HTTP packages overview as a primer. All right, server, here we go. Okay, so we need to create a new serve mux. And then we're gonna do server. Okay, so we define handler, set that equal to mux. $80.80. Actually, I think I have to change this because I have another local server that's running on $80.80 already. So let's do $80.81. And then we'll do server dot start. Whoops. Or is it listen? There we go. Listen and serve. Okay, and now we'll do go build out bin. Oh, it keeps switching me into bin. I don't want to do that. Oh my gosh, dude, I cannot type. I blame my keyboard. Okay, it should be running. Oh, crap. It's going to make a request over port 80. Okay, so we need to find out which one of these streamer bot things is running over port 80. Hello, Atello Labs. Oh, you're ahead of me? Am I really? Well, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. But we're all moving at our own speed, you know? We're all moving at our own pace, I guess I should say. So this is the WebSocket server. So what is using this? Is anything using the WebSocket server? I actually don't know. I don't think Meld. Oh, you know what? Meld Studio might be using it. But I don't think it's using it anymore. I don't really remember. True, I'm a little sick. Nice to see you live. Oh, thanks, Ben. Appreciate that. Oh, no, my foot fell asleep. Ah! I have also started working on a project in Python plus React from scratch. Hope it turns out well. Well, thank you. I hope your project turns out well too. I like React. I'm not a big Python guy, but if that's awesome, man. If you think that Python is enjoyable, I'm here for it. Okay, let's go ahead and just stop this. How do we stop it? I don't know if that broke anything. I don't think it broke anything. Also, I would like to print a message here. Oh, this is probably needs to be. All right, now let's run our checks. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. Oh, that's weird. I split the terminal down and it used PowerShell instead of Ubuntu. That's weird. There we go. Success! Okay. A file server is a kind of simple web server that serves static files. Hey, what's up, Caleb? What's the project we're working on? We are doing a course in boot.dev called Learn HTTP, which I guess I should probably update my command. Yeah, we're doing this course. It's called Learn HTTP Servers. So that's what we're doing. Nothing crazy, nothing terribly exciting. Just grinding away. Just grinding away. We're gonna get our Archmage coin. Okay, so then now what I need to do is I need to go to the mux. I need to say mux.handler. And this is going to be an HTTP handler and a string pattern. Okay, so let's define handler is going to have something at the root. Oh no, handle, sorry, handle method. There we go. Use a standard HTTP file server. Oh, there it is right there. That's what we want. Okay, so we need to do http.dir and then just point it to our root. That. Now we'll go ahead and Steven is live for real. I am here, Cyberlanka. Good morning. Novapod, how do you think the best way to master it? Any resources? I'm currently trying to learn Java after coding with TypeScript for years. So I don't know anything about Java. I've never written any Java. I love TypeScript though. So me and you can bond over that. I don't even know where to point you from a learning resource perspective on the Java stuff. I've just never been on that route myself. And I don't know of any. I'm gonna guess there's a YouTube, like a Java YouTuber, right? Cyber, you were live on my feed for the last 24 hours. Really? Huh? That's weird. I haven't streamed in more than 24 hours, so that's super strange. I think Nova, my language agnostic advice to you though, as far as like how do you master any language or get comfortable with any language, is you got to write it a lot. So I would encourage you to build lots of projects, right? Build a CLI, build a TUI, build a native desktop app with it, build a website with it. Like, just run the gamut. Try to build a project in every sort of kind of way that you can. Ideally to solve real problems that you have or somebody in your life has. That would be my kind of go-to language agnostic advice. But I'm sure there's got to be like a Java influencer out there, like YouTuber, who's making killer free Java courses. Oh, I know why I opened that window. I know why I did that. So we're going to go to localhost 8080. Page not found. What? Huh. I did rebuild it, didn't I? Oh, I don't think I did I? Go. Now let's try. There we go. Just got to make sure you rebuild stuff. Actually, let me do this. Instead of having to constantly redo that, let's do make ourselves a little shell script here. So let's do run.sh and let's do go build out bin, and then we'll do a bin should be like that. Whoops, I did not mean to exit Neovim. And then let's do watch exe-e go. Oh, we also need to chmod our run. Okay, now we'll do that. Watch exe-e go run. There we go. Courses are dead now, though. Oh, I guess they're. I mean, I still take courses on Pluralsight. I still very much enjoy a good course, and I also take courses on boot.dev. I guess what you're probably saying, Justin, is more like people stop making courses because nobody watches them or no one pays for them. That's probably valid. Pre-AI, people unironically thought college was a scam, prefer to boot camp. It's even worse now. I'm actually writing a blog article about it because I'm going to apply for a professor job at a local university. Oh, that sounds cool. Dude, that would be awesome to be able to add professor to your resume. I am Professor Justin. Courses that adapt are still good. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not at all interested in listening to anybody talk about how to build software with AI. I'm just not. I'm interested in listening to people talk about how to build software, but I don't care about. I'm not gonna. All these people out there who are selling AI courses and agentic courses, I'm sorry. I just don't look at it as that big of a skill. A lot of people now, like, being able to use AI has become the new flex that developers drop on each other. And I just kind of shake my head because I just don't think it's that big of a skill to be able to tell an AI agent how to do a job that you already know how to do. Courses are dead if you already have 20 years experience in programming and unlimited tokens to burn like everyone on Twitter. that's a good point. That's a good point. Also, good morning, Quaylon. I think that's how you say your username. Good to see you. Well, everybody on Twitter knows everything about everything. They have unlimited token spend apparently. And they constantly are updating and changing their recommendations and opinions about everything, so you constantly have to be chasing them. And they like it that way. They want it to be that way. They want you to constantly feel like you're behind and that you're out of touch, and that for $39.99 you can buy their course or their product and you won't be one of the permanent underclass. Still learn stuff, follow stuff like MIT OpenCourseWare. Yeah, I haven't tried any of the MIT OpenCourseWare stuff, but I've always heard good things about it. I'll correct myself. The market for high quality, deep programming knowledge courses are dead. Yeah. Yeah, I wonder if that'll be a forever thing, or if that'll be a temporary thing. Because I do think there will be a generation, you know, the same way you see this in other things in life where, you know, you see millennials and Gen Zs now who want analog music. Or want dumb phones. I wonder if that'll come back to programming, like where there'll eventually be a generation of programmers who will be like, you know what, I want to learn the old ways. I want to learn the ways without AI. Your background is systems, right? I may have made that up. I want to learn C, but I'm struggling with where to get going. Have you any good recs? So I don't have any background in systems development. My primarily background is primarily focused in quality engineering, and then a lot of web dev, a lot of tool development, things like that. I have not written very much low-level, like systems-level code. I do know Rust, and I've written probably, I don't know, a few hundred lines of C just recently too. Boot.dev's C course is really good. It's free. You don't have to pay for it unless you want the interactivity and the gamification stuff. I believe Casey Moratori has like a thing called Handmade Hero where he goes through learning C and like low-level programming language stuff. Maybe that would be interesting. I think it's called Handmade Hero or something to that extent. But yeah, I don't have many good recommendations on that front. Somebody in chat though might for sure have good recommendations. Good morning, Larzanya. Nice to see you, Bradley. Hope you're doing well. Hope you had a good day. I know you're towards the end of yours. Steven, we made this parallel before, but it really just is the JS framework wars repackaged. It really is. It really is. It's the crypto bros and the JavaScript boys have all become the agentic AI bros. They've combined forces. Before it was buy my course in this cool new JS framework, yeah. Now it's buy my course in AI dev. This is so true. Quaylan, I just want to learn for the sake of learning again and want to break from web dev. Yeah, I feel like C would be a great place to start then. So many of the things that we take for granted in web dev are powered by C. So that'd be wonderful. I think your background is in chemistry, right? Yeah, so I went to school for biochemistry is what I got my degree in. And then I spent the first 6-7 years of my working career as a food scientist, which was more product development related. I mean, we did do some technical basic research, but most of it was applied, applied stuff. But it was good. Yeah, it was good. That's kind of where I started. I think the best part about my experience as a food scientist was the manufacturing experience that exposed me to in the process engineering side of things. That was a very, very valuable experience. I think the experience I'm most grateful for out of that whole stint was getting to be a part of a brand new manufacturing plant. We built it. I was a part of the whole project, from building it from, breaking ground to running our first product in the plant, which was really cool to be a part of that. You don't get to be a part of big capital projects like that a lot of times in your career. Quaylon, yeah, I saw Casey's. It's also 1,000,000 hours long. Yeah, apparently it's quite the marathon, quite the commitment. if you want to take it on. But it seems like all the really smart programmers that are out on the internet right now are people who kind of came up in that community. Like the guy who built FilePilot. There's a guy working on a new editor called Fred. There's a guy working on a new video editor called Blink. There's all these kind of up and coming software projects that are very performance focused. And it seems like all of the people who are working on those things sort of were a part of the Handmade Hero. So that seems like a good proxy that that content is useful. Tough day on the ranch today, wrangling my agents. Another day at the agent ranch. No, my favorite joke about that is another day at the prompt factory. That's the joke I see on Twitter that people make, and I think it's really funny. Good morning, Zora. What tool is this? So it's so I think that you're asking about the stuff on my screen. So this tool right here that you see is called Bottom. And then this tool on the right, where the chat is, that is called Term Chat. That's something that I built and has yet to be released into the wild. And then the thing up here is a Pomodoro timer that I built using Ratatouille. And this is called Termato. And that's on my GitHub if you want to check that out. So Termato, Term Chat, which Term Chat I haven't really shared with anybody because it's a project that I've been having a ton of fun building and care a lot about, and I'm not ready for people to tear it apart. And then the Bottom project is something that somebody else built. So where are you? Let's see, Bottom. Term Chat's cool, man. Yeah, Term Chat's been a ton of fun to build. Yeah, shout out to, there's a library out, if you're into C#, there's a library out there called Termina that I use for the TUI aspect of it. It's a TUI library in C#. It's pretty great. And then I just put the link in chat for Bottom. Okay, I gotta go back to the prompt factory. I actually came on YouTube to put on Ambient Airlines. Great channel to zone out to. Some techno. Best of luck. See you, Quaylane. Good luck with your C, man. Hope you have fun. It's the sheer velocity of everything. Stupid if you don't use AI. What's the point in learning push, neglecting their years of experience to use those tools and the tokens they burn for free? Very weird time. It's a strange time in the world. It really is. Kelsey, I don't know these words. Good morning, honey. That's okay. You can still hang out here. Sometimes I don't know the words. Alright, we gotta take a quiz here. What is an HTTP.server? An interface that describes a server configuration, a struct that describes a server configuration. The main function blocks until the server is shut down. Okay, serving images. Run your Chirpy server again. You'll notice you're redirected to localhost 8080. This works for all directories, not just the root. For example, HTML. Yeah. Okay, let's serve another type of file from our server, an image. Chirpy has a slick logo, and we need to serve it so that our users can load it in their browsers. Download the Chirpy image from below and add it to your project directory. Configure its file path so it's accessible from this URL. Okay, so we just gotta save this. I don't see, let's see, what do we want to call this? Logo. Let's see, I do not see. There it is. We need home, Steven, Chirpy. Chirp. New folder. Assets. Paste. Okay, I don't think we should have to restart the server. I think we should just go to localhost 80 assets logo.png. There we go. I tell you what, it is fun to build stuff in Go. I still think my favorite thing about Go is the ability to just kind of like embed everything into the binary and just have a single executable. Alright, servers are interesting because they're always running. A lot of code we've written in boot.dev up to this point has acted more like a command line tool. It runs, it does its thing, then it exits. Servers are different, they run forever. Debugging a server is a little different. The simplest way is to write some code, build and run the code, see if it did what you expected. If it didn't, add some logging or fix the code. I'll usually use a single command to build and run my servers, assuming I'm in my main package. Alternatively, you can compile a binary and run it instead. Which do you not need to do each time you make changes to your code? Ask Melky to release a new version of Go Blueprint. What does the and in this command do? All right, custom handlers. All right, custom handlers. So this is going to be available at health Z. Okay, we need to write the content header. So we'll do writer.header. Right header, that's what we want. Adds the key value to the header. It appends to an existing value associated with the key. The key is case sensitive. So this would be content type. And it's going to be text plain. Hey, what's up, Born to Shine? Well, it's for me and you, it's been a minute. I didn't stream yesterday, so I've only actually been absent from YouTube for a single day. But I haven't seen you around in a little while. Or at least around my stream. Hope you've been well. And then we need to write the status code. And this will be a 200. And then we'll do write the body text using, okay, so then we'll do okay, like that. Busy trying to land a job, man. It's a cumbersome situation. Well, hey, you do you, man. You do you. No pressure to make it to my streams. But I'm rooting for you, man. I hope you do land that job. I know these are trying times for finding work, especially in technology. All right, so we also need to update this guy. So now that we've added a new handler, we don't want potential conflicts with the file server handler. Update the file server to use the app path. Not only will you need to mux.handle the app path, you'll also need to strip. Excuse me, the app prefix from the request path before passing it to the file server. Okay. I can do that. Hopefully. Okay. So we just need to wrap this. That it says http.strip prefix like that, and I'm actually gonna say app root. That way things stay in sync. Okay, this should have rebuilt. Did this not? I don't feel like it did what I expected it to do. So why didn't that work? Huh. I wonder if it's because it's blocking. I bet it's because it's, let's see. Oh, I have to pass a special flag, it looks like. So I have to actually do -R. There we go. Now it's working. So the R flag to watch EXEC is basically stands for restart, and it kills the current running server via SIGTERM and starts a new one immediately when changes are detected. Also, I don't think this is how you gracefully shut down an HTTP server in Go. My links website does this, right? Okay, so the real way to do this is to do this in a Go routine. We should log this. Okay, and then what we do is we do this. We say sig channel equals make chan of OS signal. Give it 1. Then we say signal dot notify, and we tell it to notify our signal channel. We tell it to notify us about sig int, and we tell it to notify us about sig this all sig term. Then we block on the channel. And we're gonna call shutdown. Where's shutdown? Oh, so shutdown context, shutdown release, context with timeout, We give it 10 seconds before we kill it off. And we need to defer shutdown release. Then we need to say if air server.shutdown with that context, and as if there's an error, it will log HTTP shutdown error. And then finally, if everything does go well, we will say graceful shutdown complete. Which means now if we do actually make a change, I think now we should see an additional message pop up. Yeah. Okay, cool. So now we have a graceful shutdown. Wonderful. I wonder why that doesn't come out of the box that way. I wonder why you have to implement all that yourself. All right, let's double check and make sure our new app path works. So right now, if we go to the root, I don't expect anything. But if we go to the root of the app, we should see that. If we go here, we should see the bird. Yep. Cool. So that all works. Let's add our checks. Oops. From which parameter would you get information about the HTTP method used by the client? The request. All right, now we're talking about middleware. To do that, we can write some middleware function like this. Then any handler that needs logging can be wrapped by this middleware. Middleware is a way to speed up your application. Nope, it is not a way to speed up. Okay. It's frequently useful as a way to store and access state in our handlers. For example, we might want to keep track of the number of requests we received, or we may want to pass around an open connection to a database or credentials to an API. Okay, create a struct in main.go that will hold any stateful in-memory data you'll need to keep track of. In our case, we just need to keep track of the number of requests we've received. Next, write a new middleware method on the API config that increments the file server hits counter every time it's called. Here's the method signature I used. Okay. Create a new handler that writes the number of requests that have been counted as plain text in this format. Where X is the number of requests that have been processed, this handler should be a method on the API config struct so that it can access the file server hits data. Register that handler with the serve mux on the metrics path. Finally, create and register a handler on the reset path that when hit will reset the file server back to 0. It should follow the same design as the previous handlers. Remember, similar to the metrics endpoint, reset will need to be a method on the API config struct so that it can also access the file server hits. I don't know why it needs to be on the struct itself. I don't know why it can't just... Yeah, I don't know. I don't think that's necessary, but okay. Okay, that's fine. I have this really hard time of like when I'm reading these instructions, I have a really hard time not questioning the instructions. I mean, like, well, that's not how I would do it. Yeah. That's the life of an engineer. I know, but at the same time, like I also hate people like that too, you know, because like I'm sure there's a reason why, right? Like there's some reason somebody made a decision about something, and at the time that decision made sense, and it was the right way to, you know what I mean? Like, so I kind of sometimes hate having that. It's all in the delivery though, right? It's probably good to be a questioner. It's good to want to understand. It's a good thing to be inquisitive. It's all in how you deliver it, right? You don't want to be that guy that's like condescending and kind of a douchebag because you're like, oh, I know better, you know? Yeah, 100% people will always care about how you say something, not what you said. Yeah, I say this as a chronic douchebag. Yeah, you just yeah. That's me and my wife talk about that quite a bit. That, you know, we love that our kids are questioning, you know, and we love that they push back on things, but at the same time, like we also want to make sure that they understand that there's a respectful way and a polite way and a kind way to do it, and then there's a not so much those things type of way. Oh, I just realized my kiddo's the same. It's like, dude, yes, you can argue with me, but be mindful, I am your father. Yes, we have that conversation quite a bit with our oldest. We always ask him, we're always like, is this how you would talk to your teacher? And he's always like, no. And then we always say, well, then you probably shouldn't be talking to your parents that way. Yeah, it's a fine line to walk as a parent between empowering them and wanting them to like grow their autonomy, but also not completely losing control of the situation. Yeah, very, very fine line to walk. What I was getting ready to say is I just realized. Hold on. Yeah, that's a break. This is good. I just realized I turned off that server, that local server that was running. And apparently, hey, good morning, Sam. Back to Golang? Yes, we're doing, yeah, we're back to Golang. We're doing the boot.dev courses. We're trying to get to level 100. And so right now we're going through their HTTP server course, which is taught in Go, which is, it's been nice. You know, Go's a language I very much enjoy. I could see myself working in Go professionally for sure. Okay, so I want to change this to be some non-standard port. So let's do 222. Now, I realize what that was actually powering. It's actually powering Meld Studio, being able to present chat messages, which Meld Studio is kind of like OBS. It's what I use to stream with. And I just realized, let's see, chat. Yeah, that's what's powering this guy. So I think I need to update this port number. So let's do 2222 like that. Go ahead and restart it. And then let's start this guy back up. Start server. There we go. That wasn't actually very difficult to change. I thought that was going to be a real nightmare to fix. Yeah, appreciate you stopping by, Sam. I hope you're doing well. Are you still making content? I haven't been paying attention. I know you were on a NeoVim kick there for a little while. I guess I could just go to your channel to answer that question. Oh yeah, you just posted a new video, like literally yesterday. Nice, dude. That's awesome. I'll have to go through and watch that. You deleted all your NeoVim plugins? Nice, dude. Yeah, still making content, struggling for ideas from time to time. That's why gaps. Dude, ideas are hard. I go weeks without publishing videos. Also, just I know I don't have a huge audience, but if anybody's here, Sam has a channel and you guys should go sub. He talks about all the cool nerdy things that we all like to learn about. So you all should go check out his channel. Lots of good stuff there. Oh, I'm not subscribed. We gotta fix that. Idea, the execution, then you have to decide if it's worth making after that. Yes. Yes. I still think quality when it comes to content is so subjective. I think I sometimes I talk myself out of making something because I don't think I can make it well enough. And I think that's always a mistake. I think quality is such a subjective measure that if you have an idea, you should just try to execute it the best you can. And go from there, you know, because it'll probably likely still resonate with somebody. Justin, dude, same. Yeah, that's I talk myself out of things. I'll have this idea for a video and I'll think, I don't think I can pull that off. And then the idea just sits. And what I should do is I should just have the idea. I should turn on the camera and I should just go, right? And like in the post edit, make it as best as I can and then publish it, move on. Like talking yourself out of things is the mistake. You got a new yes, I bought a new lens for my camera. So I've had the same camera for many years now. I have a Sony A6500, so it's not anything crazy, but I did buy a new lens. I bought a wider lens, a 16 millimeter lens, just so that I could have a little bit wider field of view. I was using a 30 mil, which worked good, but I'd had my eye on a new lens for quite a while, so I saved up my monies. Oh, and then I got this new mic too. I got the new lens and this new microphone. Those were the most recent additions to the setup. Let's see the t-shirt. Oh, you like the t-shirt? This is a quote. I think it was Barack Obama. He was in an interview or something. I linked to the clip in the page for the t-shirt. I added a new NeoVim t-shirt to my shop that I'm very proud of. It says I use NeoVim, by the way. Yeah, it's a good one, right? What camera do you use, by the way? It's a Sony A6500. I think I bought it a long time ago, man. Like my kids were like little kids when I bought it. Oh, I guess I have to sign in. I was gonna see when I bought it. I've had it forever. Also, I realize I'm not actually honoring the timer right now. There's apparently some nicer cameras that people recommend now if you're doing like streaming stuff that are kind of similar quality. but not as expensive, and you don't need a separate lens. And let me see if I can find A65. Yeah, I bought my camera in 2019 is when I bought it. So it's an older camera. Looks like I bought it for $890 in 2019. Okay, back to go. Actually, hold on. Before we do that, let's make a cup of coffee. Oh goodness. I'm gonna leave the coffee camera up so I don't forget about the water. All right. So it wants me to add a new struct here. What coffee are you drinking? Is it the same in America, like cappuccino, latte, espresso? Yeah, so I am drinking just black coffee lately. I'll occasionally have a, what do they call that? A black eye, where I'll do, like usually, like this morning when I came down, I had a cup of coffee and then I dropped a shot of espresso in it. I think they call that a black eye, or maybe a red eye. Black eye coffee. Yeah, I think they call that a black eye. So that's what I've been drinking lately. And then I'll make, like right now, I'll just make a single pour over. And then I do have an espresso machine, but I don't really use it to make lattes or cappuccinos, really. I don't really drink those, and my wife doesn't really tolerate caffeine well, so she doesn't really drink much coffee. Maybe when my boys are a little bit older and they can drink coffee, maybe they'll get into the habit. But lately, yeah, I've been keeping it pretty simple. I'm actually going to call this a state. I don't like API config. Let's do state. And this is going to have file server hits. And this is going to be an atomic int32. I think my water's done. Okay, I'm actually going to... Well, first I'm going to go get my coffee, but I think what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to modify this from state to, let's do server. I think this will make more sense, and then we'll have our file server hits, which is going to be atomic 32. And then we're going to need type, or not type, we're going to need a function that has a receiver type called S, the pointer to server. We're going to call this handle files. That. And then we'll also need a func. We'll call this one handle health checks. And then we're going to need a bunch of new methods for the incrementing this bool. We need a reset. Handle. We need one for the metrics. Okay, coffee. Hold on. Okay. Don't let me forget. I need to go get my coffee in 4 minutes. Okay, what does this thing return? This returns an HTTP handler. So then we can do return. We can actually just inline this. Prefix. Okay, and then let's make a new. It's going to be our HTTP server. And then we can do the same thing with the health checks. Just inline this. Like so. Okay, then now what we need to do is we need to implement the middleware that they asked for. Although I don't know why we need to implement this as a middleware. If I'm being completely honest. Well, I guess because this returns a handler, right? So there's no, we can't really increment it in here, so it does need to be. So we'll call this middleware metrics. Let's see, middle. This takes next, just HTTP.handler. Example of middleware. So we call next.serve. Okay, so I don't understand. I don't understand why this needs to be a separate middleware. I might regret this decision, but I think what we can do is we can just return dot handler. Like this. And so what does file server return? File server returns a handler that serves HTTP requests with contents of the file system rooted. What is this song? Also, I forgot my coffee. Okay. But I want to know. All right, so I want to know how we. So strip prefix returns a handler. Handler func is not what we want here. So how do I create? Strip free pit. Okay, that takes that. You take a file system. That guy returns a file system. Okay. So then in here, we can say file server like that, I think. And then here is where I'd want to increment it. So you do file server or hits, and we're going to add 1. Yeah, there we go. We don't need a middleware function. We're just going to always increment it. Every time you try to access a file, we're just going to increment it. All right, now we need to add a mux.handle func. This will live at reset. Server.handle reset. Now that's going to complain because it doesn't have the right signature. But we can fix that. We can come in here, put that there. And then all we're going to do here is reset it, right? So we're going to say s dot add load swap. Let's see, add autonomically adds delta to x, returns a new value. Performs a bitwise, compare and executes the compare and swap, loads and returns the value. Nope. Nope. Store automatically stores value into x. So I think we want store like that. And then obviously we need to actually provide a response. So let's do the same thing we did here. Okay, and then we need to add another one that's called metrics. This one's called handle metrics. This is going to be kind of similar. The only difference is now we're going to load. So this is hits. Then this is going to be format.sprintf. Hits like that, %d. Use format dot oh, so we're just passing the writer. Okay. I think that looks right. I think that answers all the things they asked for. A reset path, a metrics path. We wrapped our file. We didn't really do it the way they asked. They wanted us to write a middleware handler, but instead all we did was we just embedded the increment inside of handle files. So let's see if our checks pass. So it's going to make a git reset, should return 200. Let's see. All right. I think, do we pass that? I don't know if we passed that. Expecting status code 200. I think we passed that one. Okay, I think that worked. Guess we'll only know by submitting it, huh? -S. All right, what are we gonna do now? The Go Standard library has a lot of powerful HTTP features, and as of version 1.22, it does come equipped with method-based pattern matching. Wonderful. One thing I think that's kind of weird about our implementation so far is I'm pretty sure if we go to... Will that serve that? I'm pretty sure it'll serve it to us. Yeah. This is not how you want to implement a file server. We need to, I'm guessing they're going to have us fix that at some point. Okay, update the following paths to only accept GET requests. Update the reset endpoint to only accept POST requests. I think when we were going through the Learn Go with Test course last fall, I'm pretty sure in that course they had us use Gorilla for routing instead of the built-in. And I wonder if that's because at the time that course was authored, the built-in HTTP library didn't support method-based pattern matching. Okay, this is going to be get. Oh no, let's do post. And you're going to be get. This happened last time. For some reason, my new microphone, overloads the power. Good morning, Kevin. I'm gonna have to upgrade my computer setup at some point. I think my stream is really stressing what this mini PC can handle.
Come on, come on. What's Chirpy?
Chirpy is an app that we're building for boot.dev. So right now my goal on stream is to reach level 100 on boot.dev. And so we are currently just making our way through all the different courses that they have. And one of the courses is called Learn HTTP Servers. And so to help you learn it, they're having you build something called Chirpy, which is, from what I gather, is kind of like a play on Twitter. So that's what we're doing right now. Slick? I don't know about Slick, but we're leveling up. I think I'm on level 83 now. No, I'm level 82. But we're slowly closing in on robust. We could say robust. That's fine. All right, now we need to rerun our checks now that we made those changes. Okay, there we go. All right. They're talking to us about monoliths and decoupling. All right, for now, Chirpy is technically a monolith. That said, we are keeping all the API logic decoupled in the sense that it will be served at its own namespace. We serve the website from the app path, and we'll be serving the API from the API path. Let's move our non-website endpoints to the API namespace. To do this, prepend API to the beginning of each of our API non-file server endpoints. Okay. Well, that's kind of nice.
Should you build a monolith for your next web app? Well, maybe. A monolith is a single program that handles most of the logic for both the front end and the back end of a web app. When a user loads a web app in the browser, an HTTP request is sent to the back end. The server responds with HTML, CSS, and possibly some JavaScript. In a monolithic architecture, Each time another request needs to happen on the site, say a user updates their email address, the same server, the one that served the page initially, handles that request and response with a new page that represents the next state after that action completes. This is how most WordPress, Ruby on Rails, and Django Python apps typically work. Now let's talk about the decoupled approach. Instead of one server that serves pages and handles updates and that sort of thing, we potentially have two servers. One that serves the front-end assets like HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, and one that serves the dynamic backend API. The client loads the front-end assets, so the browser loads the CSS, HTML, and JavaScript, and then fetches additional data from the API as needed. Now, the front-end app is responsible for all of its own presentation logic, and the backend is just a data layer. And of course, each architecture has its trade-offs. The monolith is simple. One code base, one deployment,
Oh,
and you
God.
get server-side rendering out of the box.
Got all those
But
wrong.
the decoupled architecture has some benefits too. You get client-side navigation, and interactions after the first load are easier to make performant. You don't have to wait on round trips to the server for simple things. You can also scale your front-end and back-end servers independently, which has some performance and cost benefits. And because the API serves raw data instead of presentation logic that includes
Yeah, I don't know.
CSS,
I don't necessarily know if I
which
believe
means
with
if you
this,
have a
but
mobile
agree
app,
with
it
this.
can actually be powered by the exact same backend as your website. Now, to be fair, for most apps, either architecture can work just fine, but it's important to think about what properties your system will most benefit from down the line so you don't find yourself needing a full rewrite.
All right, break time. Break time. I'll be right back. Took a little longer break, didn't I? Promo Pricks. Hello, Pricks. Thoughts on Claude? I use that as my daily driver pretty much. I do not use Claude. But if you do use Claude, more power to you, man. I just do it the old-fashioned way. I just press the keys on the keyboard. But no shade. No shade at all, man. You do you. Whatever gets you excited to build stuff. Okay, we need to change some things. So this needs to become admin metrics, and this needs to become admin reset. And then this wants us to change it from text plain to text HTML. And we are going to say, see you, Born to Shine. Sleep well, man. Thanks for hanging out with me. Appreciate it. Appreciate you being a member too. Not at all necessary, but very much appreciated. Hey, what's up, X1? How are you today? I'm doing good. Yeah, just chilling. Started raining a little bit a few minutes ago here. So we're just having ourselves a nice rainy summer day, I guess. Excuse me. Excuse me again. Oh my goodness. My nose is attacking me. Yeah, it is good. What a blessed life, you know? Although, oh my goodness, I'd really appreciate if my nose would stop attacking me. Holy shit. So we'll just pass the template. That. Then we'll try to load it. I got a question for you, Steven. Is Scribba subscription good to buy to learn on there too? I don't know what Scribba is. So I honestly couldn't tell you. Scribba. Huh. I mean, it looks like a nice platform. I don't see any instructors I recognize though. Yeah, I don't recognize any of these teachers myself. How much is it? So you can bill $294. Or so it's the same cost as boot.dev, essentially. It's the same exact price as boot.dev. You can 12 months for about $300 or $50 a month. I have no idea. I've never used it before. So if you do sign up, report back, I guess. I'm personally kind of the opinion that if you're just getting started with software development, I would much more encourage people to not spend money when there's things like free code camp available to you. If you have the extra money, you know, maybe you already have a job and you have plenty of extra on top of taking care of all your personal finance things, then I say go for it. But I definitely don't think it's necessary for you to spend that amount of money to learn. One second. I gotta blow my nose. Okay. Sorry. I'm sorry. So, theoretically, if we were to hit localhost logo, let's do that twice. Or I guess I did it 3 times. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yep. It's working. It's working. Ah, damn it. Expected response body to contain Chirpy has not been visited, but it did not. What? Oh, I forgot the freaking exclamation point. Gosh dang it. Son of a bitch. Okay. There we go. Remember, let's see. Here's it cleaned up. Thank you for the advice. Yes, I now always use free code camp. I'm doing. X1, are you using some sort of AI to help you write the messages? Because I think sometimes when you copy and paste, you're including the AI's response. I think the here's it cleaned up is part of the AI's response, isn't it? Thank you for the advice. Which is totally cool. Maybe you're not a native English speaker, so you're trying to just write your messages in a way that... Yeah, no worries, dude. No worries. I get it. Let's see. I'm doing all 135 lessons again to learn it even more. You can't remember everything the first time, but I do remember some of what they taught me. That's why I'm redoing all the HTML lessons to reinforce what I learned. Yeah, I think the important thing there, X1, is you're never going to remember everything. You know what I mean? No matter how many times you do any of those lessons, or no matter how many times you do anything in any programming language, you're probably not going to remember everything. Yeah, so I just don't want I don't want you to put that like unrealistic expectation on yourself that you should have like immediate and perfect recall, right? Because that's just not realistic. Yeah. I figured you do. I just like I've done how many courses now on boot.dev, and I probably can recall 50% of it, right? It's just you're not going to have perfect recall. It's more about just being aware, like you understand like the high level, and you have awareness about how to accomplish things. And if you ever need to look something up, you just look it up, you know? I've been coding in .NET for over half a decade. I still need help remembering link syntax sometimes, or other random stuff that I only use occasionally. Oh, for sure. Exactly. If you don't, like, it's like a for loop. Okay, I get it. Like a for loop, you probably don't need to look that up. Declaring a variable, defining a function, like these things are basics, right? But the specifics around particular APIs, or the specifics around implementing specific design patterns, like all those things, like you're gonna have to reference them, and that's okay. Which is a better fit for Netlify? Probably the static running, but I'm guessing they probably have a product now for doing RESTful data APIs. I don't know. I haven't used Netlify much. Which is a browser not good at testing? Post requests. Okay, at Chirpy, we have a silly rule that says all chirps must be 140 characters long or less. Add a new endpoint to the Chirpy API that accepts a post request. It should expect a JSON body of this shape. Okay? If any errors occur, it should respond with an appropriate status code. Okay. I can do that. Like, what is the most important to learn in Free Code Camp? For me, Steven, I want to learn how to build websites, but some say do HTML a little bit, then CSS and JavaScript. So you got to do them all. You're going to build websites. You got to know HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, right? You got to know all three. Those are like table stakes to do web development. I think, though, the most important thing to learn from Free Code Camp is learning how to decipher requirements and translate those into implementation. That's the skill. That's the meta skill, right? As a software engineer or a developer, is like somebody says I need X, you then think about it and decide, okay, what goes into building X, and then you sit down and kind of identify what the rough implementation would look like and any outstanding questions, and then you get to work building it, right? Like, to me, that's like the fun. I think that's why I like Free Code Camp so much, is because they do force you through that kind of project-based learning approach where they don't just like hand you a step-by-step tutorial. At some point, they basically say, here's what you need to build, go and build it. Here's a set of tests that will validate if you've met all the requirements, which is helpful. That's one thing you don't always have in the real world, is a set of tests to actually validate things. But they sort of leave you to your own devices, where you sort of have to say, okay, great, now I'm on my own, right? Because so many courses and things out there sort of just hold your hand and they take you step by step by step by step through it all, which isn't really helpful, because when you learn the most when you encounter problems that you don't know the answer to and you're forced to go figure it out. So that would be, to me, that's the number one takeaway from going through all the Free Code Camp's curriculum is, can I be handed a task that's ambiguous? Can I sort out that ambiguity, and can I translate it into a complete solution? Yeah. And I would also second what Justin said, is like being able to break something down into smaller problems, 100%. I have YouTube muted right now because I'm in a meeting, but this is kind of on par for that article I'm writing. Totally valid. Yeah, totally valid. I'm calling it "Won't Anyone Think of the Junior Dev?" Oh, I love that title. I would love to read that. Once you post it, make sure you share it, man. I would love to read it. What does that mean? Like the first thing you said. So just like what Justin is trying to say is basically, if someone came to you and said, "Hey, X1, I want to build an application that allows me to store files in Google Drive, but I want to have a custom UI that has a particular theme and I don't know." Yeah, I just want to build a custom file explorer that uses Google Drive as a backing store, right? Let's say you want to do that. Well, at you, as the person that's supposed to know how to build software, you have to think through, okay, well, how do I do that? Right? That's the skill. Taking ambiguity and defining concrete solution to that ambiguous request. How ambiguous the request is always going to vary depending on like the situation you're in. You know, if you're in a company working with designers and product owners, the requirements are probably going to be better defined. There's going to be a design to accompany them, right? It's going to be a little bit more fleshed out. If you're working with your family member to build the application, it's probably going to be very ambiguous because they don't even know the right questions to ask. So then it's up to you to say, okay, well, how would we do that? Does Google Drive have an API that you can use to manipulate and upload files? Like what tech stack are we going to use? How are we going to deploy this? Like all those things, right? That's, to me, that's the skill you're trying to build. I know a lot of people get hung up with like needing to know the exact syntax of things, which is important. It's important to understand how to write things and how to implement things in the actual language that you know. But it's really, the meta skill is really the ability to problem solve. Yeah, so hopefully it makes sense. And if you go through the Free Code Camp curriculum, you'll encounter that, because they'll present you with a project and they'll say, here's what it needs to do, right? And you have to go figure out how to do those things. Okay, what does this thing need to do? It needs to validate the length. Yeah, exactly. I mean, it sounds stupid. It sounds stupid because it sounds like, yeah, no shit, Steven. No shit, Sherlock. Like, that's what you're doing. But I think a lot of times it's easy to get lost in, I need to learn everything about every language and every nitty gritty piece of technology out there in the world. But that's actually not the important skill. The meta skills are being able to learn and be able to problem solve, right? Like, how do you systematically break down problems and come up with solutions? How do you reason through hard things? It's which is a lot of what people who are talking about AI, using AI to code now, that's a lot of what they're saying. They're saying the same thing. It's like, oh, it was never about the syntax. It was never about writing the code. And it really never was. I mean, it really never has been about that. I think writing the code does help reinforce a lot of those learnings and a lot of those experiences. But it's being an engineer, being a scientist, it's largely about solving problems, but doing that in a disciplined, systematic way. But also, you're not going to use everything from HTML, what they learn you write. Exactly. You won't. And you won't use it till you need to use it, right? That's like, there's language features of C# that I've never used before because I've never encountered a problem that needed those features, right? But if I ever did, I could just go look them up and reference them. That's why I say don't get so caught up in memorizing everything or being able to recall everything, right? You want to reach some level of confidence where if I said, hey, go recreate Google's homepage, you're like, sure thing, no worries, right? You want to develop a level of confidence in your abilities so that you feel confident that if somebody was to hand you a problem, you understand how to go solve that problem, or you understand how to go get the requisite information and skills necessary to solve that problem. That's really, to me, what you're trying to do by going through these courses and by doing those projects. All right, so first things first, what are we going to do? We're going to defer rec. Defer r.body.close. And then we're going to say error equals JSON.new decoder.decode. And this is going to be r.body. So we'll do if error does not equal nil. We are going to return an error.
Welcome to the party, pal.
Hey, thanks for being a sub, man. Oh no, you became a member. Oh, dude, that's crazy. Thanks so much, dude. That's super, super kind of you. Not at all necessary, but very kind of you. Okay, I'm actually gonna turn these into strongly typed structs. So we'll say type chirp, and this will have a body, which is a string. And then I'm going to do type error or validation. Air. Thank you for the support, everything you do to help others out. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I do that much, but I just sit at my desk and tinker. But I do like talking to you guys. It's nice to talk to people who are interested in the same things I'm interested in. For me, I learn also a lot from your advice. Well, I don't know if it's good advice, so definitely make sure that you're getting advice from other people too, because my advice is just one random 33-year-old dad's advice based on, you know, N equals 1 life experience. But if you do find it helpful, I'm glad, but I think I would definitely say take it with a grain of salt, right? There's a lot smarter, more successful people in the world than me, that's for sure. What's going on in the news, huh? What's going on around the world? Oh, what's this? Red flag fire weather? Oh, it's in Colorado. I wonder why it's showing that to me. Oh, it's only going to be a high of 77 degrees today. That's awesome. There's a new Pokapia DLC. My son likes to play this game on the Switch. Pokemon Pokapia. Poketopia. I always say Poketopia and he always corrects me. Dude, I'd love to have one of these foldable phones. That'd be cool. They're so expensive though. Like $2,000 for a foldable phone. Oh boy, OpenAI shutting down its browser? No way. I tell you what, this OpenAI company, I will be so interested to see where it is in 5 years. Atlas is scheduled to stop working on August 9th. It's crazy. Crazy. Oh, wow. SpaceX dives 12% after AI spending surge rattles investors. Holy shit. What's it at right now? SpaceX. PCX. Oh, wow. Yeah, it's painful. It's down 30% this month. Peaked at 201. Painful for people who bought in for the IPO, huh? IPO'd at 160 and you're sitting at 114 now. Painful. Do you know of any good do you know of any good build your code lessons for HTML where you only build projects? I don't. Like I said, the free code camp's the one I swear by. That's what I went through. I feel like I owe so much to free code camp for my early education in terms of web development. I mean, a good exercise could be just trying to recreate a site or a service that you use a lot. You know, if there's a website or a web app that you really enjoy, try to recreate the functionality yourself.
Did we just become best friends?
Hey, Fake and Fade, thanks for subbing, man. I appreciate that. That's super kind of you. Super, super kind of you. All right. So this is going to be our chirp request. So type chirp response. And this is going to be okay, so if this is not successful, we need to do... We always need to write this back as JSON. So w.write I don't understand why it's not... It's like not recognizing that I have a W variable here. W.write. Oh, whoopsies. Whoopsies. That's why. I had it typed as a variable or as a pointer. Okay, right. So we want to write the header. No, we want to write header add. And we're always going to say the content type is application JSON. JSON. Then if there's an error decoding, we will say write 400 request. And then we'll do W write byte. I guess let's define some of this stuff up above here. Let's do encoder. And then we'll say error. Probably just do validation error. Set error field equal to something went wrong. How did you learn Rust without going insane? Yeah, Rust was a tricky one. If you go back and watch any of my streams when I was learning Rust, there were moments where I got pretty frustrated. Actually, I found C more frustrating than Rust, though. I found C a more difficult language. The problem with the frustrating part about Rust is wrestling and fighting with the borrow checker. And the memory safety that is built in, right? So the thing I think that's helpful to just embed into your mind is there can only be one mutable reference to something, right? You can have as many immutable, right? You can read as many people as you want can read a piece of data, but only one can have the ability to write to it. As long as you kind of remember that, it starts to be a little easier to think about when you want to declare something mutable versus not mutable. But yeah, I totally understand your frustration. The lifetimes is also kind of a thing I still struggle to wrap my head around. Having to declare lifetime for things. I definitely want to get better at writing Rust, though, so I've been trying to make time to write Rust more. So we need to wrap this. We need to do this. If error and error does not equal nil, oh, we need to extract this to a helper function because we're gonna have to repeat ourselves several times doing this. Okay, so since we have the bad request, now we need to actually check if we were successfully able to decode that. We need to see if data. Actually, I'm gonna rename this. Rename this to chirp request. So if chirp request dot body, the length of this is greater than 140, then we need to also do that. But instead of writing something went wrong, we'll say, what do they want us to say? They want us to say something no, they want us to say chirp is too long. Chirp is too long. We also probably can actually, now that I think about this, we could probably actually make this the final call in the method and just yeah. Wait, Steven, I have a question. Do you work a job right now when you live stream, or is it just coding for yourself like a home job? So I still work a 40-hour week job just like everybody else. I work at a company that makes a SaaS product. As far as when you live stream, when I live stream, I'm not on the clock. So I don't stream during work hours, or I mean, sometimes I stream over lunch, but I don't stream when I'm supposed to be working. My company's pretty though chill about our kind of work hours. Like I think for the most part, at least in my role, they mostly just treat us like adults. Like as long as you're doing the work you're supposed to be doing to the quality that you're expected to be doing it, and you're hitting your timelines and you're responsive and all those things. Basically, as long as you're being an adult, right, you're not going to have any issues. But I try to be respectful of like during office hours, not to be doing stuff that's my own personal related things. I'm on vacation right now though, so that's why I'm streaming a little later today. That's also why I get up early to stream, is because normally my work day is like 8 to 5, so I get up early in the morning so I can stream for 2 or 3 hours before my kids and my family wake up, and then work starts, and then when work ends I have more family time after work, and so streaming early in the morning works the best. But I'm on vacation this week, so I can kind of stream whenever I want. So the coding you do now is just vibe coding, or I just code for the fun of it. Yeah, build side projects for the fun of it, doing boot.dev for the fun of it. Yeah, just because I enjoy doing it. I guess vibe coding in the classic sense of vibe coding. I get less vibe coding in the newer sense of vibe coding. That's great. Also have a beautiful vacation with your family and friends. Yeah, the vacations I've taken this summer, I took a week off in June, a week off in July, and a weekend off in August. And we really haven't done anything, just hung out around the house. Just chill. Enjoy our rent. Enjoy being at home. Okay, so I'm gonna do this. So we're gonna say var validation error. Like that. And then here what we'll do is we'll just set the error field, and we'll say could unable to decode JSON. Now we can remove this, and we can move this here. Sure, it's too long. I wonder if actually, I'm trying to avoid having more than one exit place. So I wonder if I do response is any. Can we do response equals validation error? And then we just encode the response. Like that. Now, there's still a chance that both of these things could get hit, right? So if error is not nil, we're still going to check the length of the body, which is not going to be good. So we need to say if error equals nil. So that's our only validation logic at the moment. Sweetcar, how do you stay so consistent? Like, I'm hugely interested in IT. Good morning, Sweetcar, by the way. Good to see you. But like today, I will have huge urge to learn C. Tomorrow, networking. The day after tomorrow, study OS internal. I can't stay, then rotate again, jumping between topics, advanced topics. I don't think there's anything wrong with jumping between topics. I mean, there's definitely days where I feel like working on a project, and there's days when I don't feel like working on a project, and I think that's why it's always kind of nice to have a couple different things going at the same time. But yeah, I definitely have the same experience. I don't think there's anything necessarily wrong with that. Nothing better than a code in one ear while writing SQL queries. Oh, you're writing SQL queries. Nice. Okay, I'm gonna put this in a little function to help. So we will do func write JSON response. I mean code. We should pass the writer. W io.writer. And then we should just new up the encoder. Cannot use So what does this actually take? Oh, IO reader. Oh, that's the wrong method. New encoder. There we go. Takes a response writer. Okay, then the benefit of that is we can say, write JSON response. We can pass in our writer. There we go. And then we can return. We can do that here too, return. We can do write JSON response. We don't need to do this guy up anymore. We don't need you anymore. Why are you? Oh. Okay. And then down here, we can get rid of this. Okay, so then if we make it all the way here, we can actually write our response. So this is, we can say write w.write header. This is going to be http.status. Okay, God, this took way too long for me to write this. JSON response, and then we're going to do chirp response and valid equals true. I think that's correct. Yeah. All right, let's try it. Oh, did my phone die? Oh, weird. Oh no, my coffee camera is still active. Yeah, huh. Wonder why it said disconnected. What are the JSON keys in the JSON representation of struct1? Name, age, school. Which keys will be parsed in the JSON representation of struct2? Name and age. What? Struct2. Oh, age, sorry. Age. Which keys are in the JSON representation of struct3? There won't be any keys. This assignment is called The Profane. We need to update the validate chirp endpoint to replace all profane words with 4 asterisks. Assuming the length validation passed, replace any of the following words in the chirp with the static 4-character string. Kerfuffle, Sharbert, Fornax. Be sure to match against uppercase versions of the words as well, but not pronunciation. Does not need to be replaced. Finally, instead of the valid boolean, your handler should always return the cleaned version of the text in a JSON response, even if nothing changed. All right, so this is tricky, or this seems a little tricky. We basically, this won't match because it has the exclamation point on it. So I was gonna do just a strings.replace, but I think we're gonna have to split it. I think we're gonna have to split it into individual words, loop over those words. If the word is one of the ones on our blacklist, replace it, and then join the words back together for the final response. I guess we probably could do, I know we're on break, but I'm guessing we actually probably could do strings.replace and just use word boundaries. Strings.replace, go regex. I think we could make a regex, compile that regex. Yeah, we might be able to try that then. We could build a regex that's basically word boundary, blacklist word boundary, and any matches. Then I think that would work. Basically normalize the message to lowercase and then do the word boundary check. So we could do Steven. Oops, hold on. That's not what I'll do. Let's test for Steven and Steven. And then let's say we're testing from B to Steven. Oh, no, that won't work. So word boundary actually does deal with pronunciation. Could we do S one or more times? Huh. Matches without consuming any characters at the position between two characters. No, that's not what I want. That's a tricky one. That's a tricky one. I'd probably just do it the way I described and then see if there's a better way to do it based on their solution. Michael Burry warns of potential 1987 style stock crash. Huh. How much did the stock market fall in 1987? %22 in one day. The S&P 500 index fell 20.47%, the largest one-day drop in the index's history. And then looks like it took about 8 months for it, or no, 2 months, no, 2 years for it to recover. It didn't recover to its pre-crash high until July 26th of 1989. I mean, honestly, it's okay. It's really okay with me if prices come down. All right, what are we going to do this? Okay, so let's go over here. Let's make a blacklist. The top of this method, let's say blacklist equals a slice of strings. Actually, we can make this an array, can't we? And we can say we want kerfuffle. We want Sharbert and Fornax. Okay. Then let's do normalized body equals chirp request, or we're gonna do strings dot to lower chirp request dot body. Normalized words equals strings dot split, and we'll split on a space, and then sanitized is going to be a slice of string. We'll say for word in normalized words. Oh no, I'm not writing C#. I'm writing Go. Normalized words. And we just want to check to see if slices dot contains whether V is present in S. So if blacklist contains word, is that an actual thing? Array contains? That's not a thing. Slices. In call to slices does not satisfy E. Okay, so how do I check if go check if element in array Okay, I don't know if this really is mate. I'm just gonna, yeah, I'm just gonna do that. We're gonna do. What are we gonna do? Oh, you know what? I shouldn't normalize the.
This is my latest technical difficulty. Sometimes my Rode mic. I think I'm back. Yeah, I think I'm back. My whole computer just died. So that might happen again. What I miss? Nothing. My whole or my stream just died, but I'm back now. Not sure what happened there. I'm guessing I overheated it. Too many things going on at once. The microphone is glitched out. Hold on, one sec. Oh, it's because it's got the wrong microphone.
There we go. Oh shit! I didn't even notice. That's funny. Well, that's probably because you're doing something far more interesting than watching me struggle through how to stream properly. Maybe check your PC cooling and system to see what went. I have no idea what to check to see what went wrong. If I had to guess, it would probably just got too hot and shut off. Although it doesn't, I mean, it doesn't feel crazy warm. I don't know. It is what it is. Okay, where was I? I was in the middle of doing something. Okay, I'm probably gonna finish this lesson and then hop off. But I think I just crossed over the 4-hour mark. Okay, so main.go, what are we doing in here? Go ahead and load it. Just go ahead and recover it. That's fine. Yes, yes. Okay. Okay, so my realization here was the fact that I shouldn't normalize. We should not normalize. We should just split it. Chirp, request body. These are not normalized words. These are just words. Here we will do string dot to lower on the word itself. Otherwise, we'll do append the word. This way we preserve capitalization and all that good stuff. You're now going to say clean body. Like this. Or check your PC security. There could be viruses shutting it down automatically in the background. Just making sure you know. My Windows Defender scans are fine, so I'm not so worried about virus. I think it's much more a pushing this little mini PC probably to the max of what it can handle, because I'm encoding 2 streams to Twitch and YouTube, and at the same time trying to do development stuff. I have Docker running, WSL running. I'm sure there's logs somewhere that we could see, like, why is this happening? I just don't know where I'd look for that. Okay. I think we have it. Clean body. We joined it back together. We replaced any bad words with that. Your handler should always return the clean version of the text in a JSON response, even if nothing changed. Okay. Okay, let's try it. Oh no. Let's see. I had something interesting for breakfast. Expected dot clean body to be equal to I had something interesting for breakfast. What? Why did that fail? Oh, cleaned body. Whoops. This is supposed to be cleaned body. What the fuck? Oh, gosh damn it, man. There we go. Man, I'm having to use all my armor. We should buy more. Dude, I have my inventory is so stacked right now on boot.dev. Look at this. I've got 9 frozen flames. Crazy. Okay, that's it for me today. Is there anything I don't want to commit? I guess the assets are fine. What is this? Logo.png zone identifier? I don't know what that is. Delete that. The readme's fine. This is fine. Main's fine. That's fine. Okay, we can go ahead and delete that SWAT file. Okay. I think that's good, so we can commit all this. CX1, I hope you have a good rest of your day too, man. Very kind. A noob, have you purchased the membership? On boot.dev, you mean? Have I purchased the membership? Is that what you're asking about? I was chasing shadows, moving too fast. Didn't see the way our love couldn't last. Now I'm stuck replaying what I put you through. Every night I'm haunted by the thought of you. If you need my love. Yeah, yes, I have. Yep. I paid for an annual membership I figured a year was enough time to get to level 100. I think I'll get to level 100 maybe in the next month or so. I'm at level 82, I think, right now. But yeah, I paid for 12 months. I think it was like 280 something. Something like that. It's a little cheaper than doing it monthly. I think monthly is like $50 a month. And then if you pay for a whole year, they give you a discount. I'm at level 83, so we leveled up today. Good deal. Yeah, I think by the end of August, I mean, how many more courses do we have? We're on this one. I don't know. I think I could go faster if I worked on it off stream. If I worked on it off stream, I think I could go faster. All right, I'm out of here, peeps. Good to see you, noob. All right, hope you guys have a good rest of your day. Bye. See y'all.